All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the website that's going to allow me to access the information that I'm looking to obtain. So if I go to delraylibrary.org, and again, this is just my local library that I went out and got a library card, and I wanted to use some of the associated business resources made available to me through their business services section online. So once I click that, this lets me know the business services. The ones that I'm specifically looking for down are reference solutions. Here I have to accept the terms and conditions of the program that I'm going to use to access and find information relating to businesses and industries that I wish to look up. Here it tells me to enter my card number, which is what's provided to you when you receive your library card. But here it's already preloaded. That's my card number. And I click Login. So now I'm in the program that's going to basically, and this is a business database, it's typically current, and this database is going to let me look up businesses that I have an interest in identifying who they are, where they are, how many employees there are, sales revenue, geographical location, and various other criteria that we'll see in a moment. So right now over here, I'm going to click on search under the US businesses section. And here I could do a quick search by company name, an executive's first or last name, a city, a state, and a phone. But what I like to do is I like to do an advanced search because I'm going to click on advanced search, and in a moment, another window is going to display, and in the left-hand menu column, I have various criteria of how I can search for businesses. And here's me scrolling. So I don't need every one of these. I could only focus, if I wish, on the criteria that's important to me. So let's say I want to look up lawyers and lawyers in the territory or in a region in which I work. So what I would do is the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the major industry groups or keyword SIC code. Every business has a business identification code assigned to them. So if I hit keyword SIC, and this is before we're even talking any type of business in Florida, New York, any state we wish, let's just go identify for attorneys the SIC code. Here, if I start to type attorney and I click search, it tells me attorneys are 811103. So right now I'm looking for attorneys. If I just hit update count right here, it's going to tell me that there are 362,860 records identified in the United States that are associated with this code of attorneys. But let's drill down a little bit more to Florida. So I'm going to go to city and state. I click here. It says city state has been added below. So here's city state. Let's go to Florida. Now, if I hit update count now, there's 33,586 records of attorneys, again, with that SIC code associated in the state of Florida. And that's all the entire state of Florida. So now if I want to drill down even further, and let's say I wanted to look up Boca Raton, Florida, all the zip codes within Boca Raton. I hit update count. Still shows me 33,586. Let me remove that for a moment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove Florida, Boca Raton. Now I have 1,065 businesses here. So I'm specifying I want in the city of Boca Raton attorneys with that SIC code. But let's drill down even more because there's a lot of independent 1-2 person attorney firms that will be within this listing. So let's say I want to click up here for business size, number of employees. Well, now I have a whole bunch of other criteria. So if we start with the largest number of employees, use the higher quantities here. 10 to 19, and I hit update account. I have 119 records in Boca Raton. Well, let's add now the 5 to 9 employees, which there are plenty of. Hit update. It's 240. Let's leave it for this right now, because some of these records are going to be, let's say, for example, John Smith, PA, or John Smith and Company. Well, you may see the corporate name as well as John Smith or other individuals within that company listed and making up some of that record count. But let's hit view results right now. 240 records for 5 and more employees. And here you go. So here I have company name, executive name, street address, city, state, zip, and a phone number. Now, if you look at the bottom, it says over here 250 downloads or prints per search can be exported into an Excel file or a CSV file. Well, coincidentally, this complete search has 240 results. So I could actually download every one of these in one search, meaning if there were 400 results there, I'd have to do the first 250, then uncheck these boxes you're about to see, and then I would start from the additional pages and get the last section beyond that. So here I'm going to highlight 25 records. Second page I go to 50 records. Third page, 75. They're 25 each sheet. And again, we have up to 250, so we'll get all of them in. 5, 6, 7. Again, it shows you here there's 10 pages worth, so we have 3 more to do. 8, 2 more. 9, 10. Now I could hit, now that 240 records, all of these records have been highlighted on 10 pages, I click download. Well, I could choose it as a comma delimited file, an Excel file. I like to use Excel. Well, I could have summary or I could have detailed all data. Let's go to detailed so we could see what fields are included, and then we could omit or delete fields we may not want. Let's hit download records. Top right corner, security check, hit keep. So the file is downloaded, an Excel file, an XLSX file. I'm going to open up the file and launch it. Well, let me move this over to the screen. I'm going to hit enable editing. So what I usually do is I'll delete the parent company field. I could keep executive first name and last name. I don't really need, for the sake of space, I could delete their title, professional title here, because I have executive title here. There's partners, owners, managers, CEOs. Gender, don't need it, male or female. Here's the address, Boca. Well, I could leave that, I could delete it. Sometimes I'll just keep the initial zip code. And then I could start deleting these types of fields that I don't necessarily need. Hit delete. Well, here's the main number. Here's a fax number. I usually delete the fax number. Toll-free number, don't need it, I have the main. I keep the website usually because I'm going to go to these websites and start looking up who contacts are and match them up to this listing. Company description. So these are some other fields that you see me deleting that I usually don't need. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm scrolling over, I'm holding down shift while hitting the arrow over to the right arrow. And when I get to a field that I want to keep, so let me keep going here, like employee size, I'm not going to, these 2 fields I'm going to keep. So from over here, I'm going to hit Alt E and D for delete. This lets me know the local employee size range. Well, Ackerman's a big company. It says they have 100 to 249 employees. This gives you the actual size. So if it says 5 to 9 here, it's actually closer to 6 employees here. I can keep I could delete this column, keep this. Sales volume. Well, the ranges I could delete and keep the actuals. This is the annual sales revenue. Don't specifically go by this. I would pay more attention to employee size. Corporate employee size range. I don't need this field. I don't need this field. But let me scroll over a little bit more. I want to look to see if additional contacts. So let me scroll over all these fields I don't need. There's a lot of, here we go, executive first names. Let me delete these other fields before it. So here I have an executive, John Raymond, he's a partner. Over here, and another executive number 2, Brenda Dania, a partner. Executive number 3, Ned Nashban, another executive, title undefined. So if we go over here and we look at executive names, this is giving us, even in this company down here, several people in the organization we may call on that we can go reference on the website. See, are these people still there? Are there additional people there? So this is a great way to determine law firms, in this particular case, that have 5 or more employees in all of Boca Raton, which is why we see the various zip codes with phone numbers and website addresses that let us pursue and call on them further.